So I think it should be recording. So
It's
I
working.
am okay. I'm Alejandro. I just recently graduated with my master's in social work. Uh, Blake.
Hi, my name is Blake, and I am currently in my certificate program for public health preparedness and emergency management.
So far to add, I just got accepted into the certificate program for very long title, supporting mental health and social development, social emotional development in school and professional settings. I think I got that right. I might be wrong. But anyways, uh, the reason why we're doing this video is because both Blake and I did the Southeast Asia Study Abroad program that went to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. First off, the reason why I chose it is because I felt like it was very important for me to explore different countries. I've done a study abroad before. I went to Central Europe, and I feel like when it comes to study abroad, a lot of people gear their focus to Europe, whereas a lot of people do not focus their minds on going to Southeast Asia. But I feel like it was in my best interest to visit those areas just because as a social worker, there's a chance that I'm going to probably encounter people who are from Vietnam, Cambodia, or Thailand. Um, so I felt like it was very important for me to visit those countries and learn about their culture, learn about their experiences, and learn about um, just their way of life and their culture. Just because obviously it is very different from us here in the US. So I think, and it is three countries that are not generally talked about that much within the United States. So I feel like it was really cool and very important for me to choose this program to experience something new and something that I really don't think I would ever experience if it was to up to my own accord. So I think that's why I chose it. What about you, Blake?
Well, I chose it because I have a degree in political science, and I always wanted to work on like the international stage, like
Hmm.
especially on the eastern side of the world. So seeing that trip come up after I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. Like this is
Yeah.
literally what I would want to do. This is where I want to work in. And just being able to just see, witness, and be a part of the culture like of Southeast Asia was never like something that, like you said, is mentioned a lot here in the US. So being able to go there, experience it, and being able to understand the place that I want to work in was just what drew me to the program.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think when it came to the program, I think I was kind of nervous about because I have traveled a lot. I traveled pretty much every year, but I was most nervous since this was pretty much going to the other side of the world. So I was kind of
Mhm.
nervous. And like I mentioned, I've never been to Southeast Asia before. I know you mentioned you've been to Bali before.
Yeah, I went to
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in September. Yeah, I went to, that was like my first time I ever went over there. So I wasn't too nervous, especially
Hmm.
like the only thing that I was dreading was the flight.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was kind of like, I already kind of knew what to expect considering like the three countries we were going to was like
Hmm.
right above where Indonesia was. So I
Yeah.
had a big idea of what was going to happen. But the only thing I was nervous about was that that was my first trip I was going to without my family. So
Yeah.
no sisters, no mom, no dad. It was just me. That was
Yeah.
the only thing I was nervous about. But you know,
Yeah. And I think that's also like I travel alone pretty much every time that I travel, but I also had that same fear of like I don't know anybody that well in this trip because obviously we had the classes, so we kind of had a semblance of knowing each other, but
mhm.
like you really don't know like who's gonna become friends, like if you're gonna hang out with somebody. So I think the first time that was my nervousness, but I think once we got there, pretty much everybody found their own like connections and found their own like not cliques in a sense, but their own friend groups that they sort of stuck with throughout the whole trip, which I think is
Yeah,
really good because like I think most of us have not been there. I have not been there in like many years because I think two of our classmates had been there before.
mhm.
Um, so I think it was very important that people sort of like knew that they should not be by themselves while in these countries abroad, and they knew that they needed to stick together. So pretty much everybody, like I think the first day was like, "Hey, do you want to stick together?" Like that's how we sort of formed our thing when we got to Vietnam. We were like, "Hey, do you want to like spend time together?" And we kind of just like were like, "Yeah." So we sort of
Yeah.
ended up like sticking together throughout the whole trip. And I think that sort of took my nervousness away. I feel like I'm a very anxious person when it comes to like socializing. So I felt like
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make friends. I'm not gonna be very talkative. I'm not gonna like put myself out there and meet people. But I feel like since it was such a small group, I felt like it was more comfortable. I felt like I was more able to open up and talk to people and like even help people. Because I know that when we first did like the first time we all met in person, the professor asked us like, what do you bring to the table? And I think you and I kind of said the same thing of like we sort of over prepare and bring stuff not for ourselves but for other people as well. And I think we saw
Yeah.
that as well with some other people where everybody was able to like jump in and help each other when something was going on. Um,
Hmm.
and we were all sort of able to become a community in a sense with the 10 people that were there with us. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Uh, yeah, but I feel like it was a good program. What did you enjoy the most out of it?
What I enjoyed most about it was just kind of seeing like the scenery, seeing how like kind of how like what I think you did this as like the final project, seeing the difference between going from like the traditional sense
Hmm.
of like some of these countries, especially like in Vietnam and in like Thailand, and then going to the nightlife like me and you did, how we walked in, how we went from like looking from the like in the forest of where they fought in the Vietnam War to us now at night walking the streets in one of their nightlife districts. Like
Yeah.
it was such a switch, but being able to see like that difference in how people have kind of like evolved over time, that was probably easily one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that would also be my favorite part. Because as you mentioned, that was like my final project for the class. But I think it was still cool to see because I think when you think of Vietnam, Cambodia, and even Thailand, you kind of think of their like cultures in the sense of like their temples, their I think especially for Vietnam, you think of more of the Vietnam War rather than
Mhm.
anything else. And I think in Cambodia, you might think of the genocide that happened there. So you don't
Yeah.
really consider that they do have a nightlife. They do have like a very vastly different culture at night, which I thought was very cool to see. I think it was also very interesting because you and I sort of talked about it where there was a lot of Americanization in these countries where a lot of them were playing like a
Yeah.
lot of like American music and a lot of for lack of better terms, I think they use things that were outdated, that were like
Yeah.
not things that we use anymore. But I think they sort of realized that that would draw in the crowd. So I think that surprised me the most out of being there, seeing sort of the Americanization of those countries.
Yeah, because I sure as heck was not expecting to hear freaking Biggie Smalls and Tupac
Yeah,
playing in Southeast Asia and then hearing
yeah,
Ice Cube right after and Snoop Dogg. I said, okay, hold on.
yeah,
I said, my back home.
yeah, yeah. Because it felt sort of like a culture shock because that's not something that you would expect to hear or even see like the clubs in those areas, sort of like playing that music in those
And
like
some like
areas.
styling themselves and like
Hmm.
the like I was seeing people with box braids,
Yeah.
dreads, same as me. I'm like, oh well, this is interesting.
Yeah, because I will even add like the code switching that we sort of experienced when we were there. Not with
Right.
myself, but with like with you. Because I remember when we were in the Cambodian like market,
Market,
that
yeah.
one lady was trying to sell me something, and she was talking to me like very sweetly. And then once like I bought whatever I bought from them, she like turned to you and she was like, "Hey, sister," and it was just like that was such a weird like
And it's
thing
the
because
point I
we
didn't even notice she said it.
yeah, and then like afterwards we were just like, where did she learn that? Like who taught her that? Like where'd you get that from? But it was
She
like
said
it
it
was
so
such like
good.
yeah, it was like nonchalantly that how she did it. She didn't even like
Hey sister. I was like,
exactly.
hi.
Yeah.
And then you said it after. It was like, yeah, she just sorry, my sister is over here trying to feed my dog some chocolate. It was just like so because I truly just didn't even realize she code switched until after you pointed it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, she did just code switch with me.
Yeah. So I feel like I don't know, it was interesting. It was cool to see the how they saw us differently and
Mm,
how what they saw would be the best way to sell to us. That's how I'll
yeah.
say it. Because I think
You know,
everybody had a different experience when it came to markets and being sold something.
yeah, I feel like they had to learn they learned their audience. They learned how
Yeah,
to get with like how to deal with certain people of certain demographics.
Yeah. So, and like I would say, like I think our group of students that we went with, it was very diverse. I think we had two people. One of them was, I think two of them were from Vietnam, correct?
Gloriana was from Vietnam. Her family's from and Talia's stepfather is from Vietnam, but her mother is from Laos.
Right, gotcha. So yeah, I
Mm,
think we had like a very different group with us, and I think it was very important that, especially that we had people who were familiar with those countries. And I think the Gloriana had mentioned that she had been to Vietnam in the past, like a while ago.
yeah,
So I think it was very cool and important to have people who have been to those countries who knew some of the language, who can help us out in case like we didn't really understand certain things, or we got lost, or we had some questions. They were able to help us and answer the questions. I remember when we were in Thailand, we went to the club districts. Um, I would order Grab, which is like their Uber, and I
yeah,
remember that they would like the driver would call me and speak in Thai, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm over here." And then like Talia would just grab my phone and just start speaking in Thai to the driver and get them to like where we were at, and I was like, "Okay," because if it was up to
mhm,
me, I think I would have gotten lost and we would have had to wait longer for that Grab. So I think it was very
yeah,
important to have that experience, and I think it was cool to see that. Um, like I mentioned before, we all kind of binded together, and we all sort of created groups and helped each other. So I think it was cool to like make those friends and have that experience. It definitely like enhanced the experience because I feel like it was, if it was just me, it would have been cool, but I feel like I would have not had like the best experience if I was by myself.
yeah, definitely. Because there were certain points where we were all like, when we were in like the Summer Palace, or
Hmm.
we were in Vietnam or Cambodia. I used to like kind of look to Talia and be like, what does this mean?
Hmm.
Like you like and she would just answer like quick. Like she would explain like the history of it, what it means, and what they still do it, like what they do about it to this day. I'm
Yeah.
just like that whole experience like really enhanced it. Like it would have been fine if there was nobody from their countries that we went
Hmm.
to, like because then we can all learn it together. But having that kind of insight, that made it even that made it more impactful, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in terms of like recommendations for traveling, I would definitely say learn a few of the words of their culture, of their language, just so that you have a semblance of something, either if it's just like a hello or goodbye or good morning. It will take you like a long way because they will really appreciate that. They'll really think that you're very considerate for at least learning some of the words. Obviously, they don't expect you to like learn their whole vocabulary and like before you travel, but at least a few words is nice for them to sort of know and feel comfortable knowing that you took the time out of your day to sort of learn for their culture. Um,
Exactly.
Also, I will say it's very hot. Since the trip runs in like summer, I think it leaves in May. It's hot. It's not even like a US hot. It's like you're gonna be on fire. It's like really hot. So like
Yeah, I still have
yeah.
hot flashes from the temple in Cambodia. I
Yeah.
still have heat flashes, and I'm just like this heat now. I'm just sitting here like, you know what? I've already experienced something even
Yeah.
hotter than this, so this ain't too bad.
Yeah. So make sure to like wear and bring clothing that's very breathable and ones that dry quickly because you will sweat a lot. Make sure to bring like a portable fan, a lot of water. Just be aware
Sunscreen.
that uh, the drinking water in Southeast Asia, do not drink from the tap because that is not it's not filtered like it is here in the US, so it's not very safe.
Mhm.
So always just stick to like water bottles, but that should not be like any issue because Blake and I and a lot of our classmates would go to like the 7-Elevens or like the Circle K's that were around the areas and just buy some like jugs of water or like big water bottles just to have on hand. And the program also offered us water bottles every day. I think it was two every day.
Yeah,
Um,
two every day, and that was more
yeah,
than enough, honestly.
yeah. So I think you were able to like be hydrated as long as you're hydrated because a lot of us sometimes forget to drink water, but just don't forget because otherwise you will dehydrate really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just like have fun, like experience what you're experiencing. If something goes wrong, It happens, things happen, but that doesn't mean you're gonna be left on your own. They like the professors there to help you, the guides are there to help you, the people that you go with are there to help you. I know some of us had some issues when it came to like airports and like everything with that. So like all of us were able to like like we were all able to like help each other out and as best as we can resolve the situation without any like issues. Um,
Yeah.
so I think just make the best out of it. It is pretty short, but you'll have the most fun. It'll be is really short, but it feels like you're there for months. It feels like you're there for like a long time. The only
Mm,
thing that I will add about the program, I do wish that we had one extra day just to explore on our own because I feel like it was very cool to see like the different things, but I think it was so jam packed that we did not really have a chance to sort of explore on our own. Because I do feel like,
yeah.
especially in Vietnam, when we had like the be
Because I think we had 2 days there, technically, because the
pretty
first day is
much.
when we arrived, and then the next 2 days were just so jam-packed. We'd leave the hotel at 7 a.m., and then
Hmm.
we didn't get back to like 7, 8 p.m. So I wish
Yeah.
we would have had like another extra day in Vietnam.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, we got back to the hotel pretty much at nighttime and everything was closed. So we really didn't really have a chance to explore anything except for like the club district. That's the only thing that we really could walk through because that's the only thing that was open by the time that we got back. And even then, it wasn't even open. Most of them opened like around like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. By that time, we were sleeping
Yeah.
because we had to get up at 7 a.m. the next day. So
Yep.
we just had to like walk around and sort of like walk around the block. We definitely visited McDonald's a few times because that's the only
Oh
thing that
yeah,
was pretty much
definitely. That was
open the
our
whole
spot right
time.
there.
Yeah. So that's what I will say. I think if you've done study abroad before, it's kind of the same experience, like with the application and all of that. If you have never done it before and this is your first time even going outside of the country, it's a good experience. I think you'll definitely take a lot out of it and um you'll enjoy it. I feel like most people who do it are kind of nervous about it. I knew that I was nervous before doing because I was like, I've never been to these places. I don't know what I'm expecting. But once I got there and I kind of assimilated, I was like, you know what? I like this. I do want to come back at some point. Maybe not by myself, but with somebody. Like I feel like I want to come back and sort of like get to experience things that I didn't get to experience when I was on the trip. And sort of
Mm,
see new things that I didn't. Because obviously, like we're sort of programmed to do certain specific things, but I think once you're there on your own accord, you can do whatever, essentially whatever you want and explore different areas that you did not get a chance to explore when you got there, when you went there with the trip. So I don't know. That's my opinion. Just have fun, make friends, take a lot of pictures, and enjoy the moment that you have there because who knows if you'll be able to come back. It is a pretty far away trip. Most people are probably like, I don't want to do that 24 or 25 hour trip time because it was a very long flight. I think it was like 15 hours to get there
yeah.
plus the other like trips that were the connecting flights. So that also
Hmm.
adds to the travel. So just make sure to like bring melatonin if you want to sleep on the plane. Melatonin just to make sure that you regulate your sleep when you're there because obviously you're going to be in a different time zone. So just
Oh
bring
yeah.
something to like help you with sleep because otherwise you're going to be up all night and then sleepy in the morning. So just be aware of that. But do you have any other tips that you want to offer?
Yeah, we would say make sure, like, if you even think that you're going to do a study abroad or you want or you may have the desire to, I would definitely start getting things like in order before, like your
Hmm.
passport. Make like if you don't have a passport, start doing it now. And if you want to do like things like get a TSA pre-check or global entry, definitely do that as well. Like TSA pre-check, the line. I were you did you have the TSA pre-check or no?
I did not, and that line was probably more than an hour.
Yeah, and I was in and out of that line in 5 minutes. Though they did take something from me, but you know what? It's fine. I got it replaced.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing I would say is look at your itinerary
Hmm.
before you go, because that's literally how I planned each outfit I was going to wear based on what country we were going, based on the weather. I was literally looking at both the weather, my clothes, and figuring out, okay, I'll bring this outfit, and as a backup, I'll bring this as well.
Hmm.
I make sure you have everything that you got. Like make sure you have everything you think you're gonna need because you would. you would much rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
So that's was my biggest concern of making sure I had things like cold medicine in case I got sick, cough drops in case
Hmm.
I eat something or I upset my throat or anything, and like even band-aids because I know I'm a klutz. So, and also make sure you pack good walking shoes as
Yeah.
well because you will be walking a lot and your feet will start to hurt.
Yeah.
And just honestly just take it all in, embrace, have fun because you like you said, you never know when you'll be back or if you'll ever go back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah. So I think, like I mentioned, I think we both got a lot out of the trip, and whoever does end up going on the trip again, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a lot of fun on it. I'm sure you will. Um, Hopefully everything goes well. And as Blake mentioned, get your things in order before you apply for any study abroad trip in general. Just because you will need that passport, you will need like all the visas of wherever you're going, if it is to Southeast Asia. Just make sure that you have everything in order before you go. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think it is a good experience. It's a good trip. I would highly recommend it to others. I think if it is a bigger group, it would be cooler just because you would get like a lot more things to do and a lot more people to explore with.
Hmm.
But even if our group was small, but I think we all sort of made the best out of it with the small group. I think we all kind of felt very more connected because we were such a small group.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't matter how many people go. I think regardless, you're gonna enjoy it. So I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Um, but with that, that's the last thing that I had to share about it. I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to add in there.
Oh yeah, one thing because I just
Mhm.
remembered this because I almost did this when we got to Vietnam. Make sure you have everything.
Yeah.
Because I almost lost my bag in the airport. And there was the only way to get back in is to go through security all over again.
Mhm.
But luckily, Talia grabbed my bag and she thought probably it was someone else's, but it was fine. So
Yeah.
make sure you have everything, all your bags, all your luggage, even something you think that, oh, I don't really need it, grab it just in case.
Hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, just have fun, enjoy it because I highly recommend it and I would definitely do something similar again.
Hmm.
Just have fun, embrace the new experiences, make a lot of friends, and learn a lot. That's the only thing I really got to say.
Yeah. So with that, I think that's good. Uh, yeah. So hopefully, if you do end up going on a trip, enjoy it, have the best time, and thank you. Uh, you know.